Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of School GSA, the show with me and Felonious Ferris. I'm Demigloom. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Ferris.
Hi.
Hello, Ferris.
That's me. I use they, them pronouns.
Whoa, you're one of those?
You know this.
I didn't know that. I haven't spoken to you before.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
we're meeting right now for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. So, what is this podcast? Because I'm not even sure myself. Are you certain of what this podcast is?
I think that this is a podcast where we meet every week and talk about whatever the we want to talk about.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. What is it that we want to talk about usually? Is there a theme?
Probably LGBT issues will be at the forefront, but also probably just like politics, stuff in that vein.
I think just being a queer perspective on pretty much anything is enough to, keep everything together.
Yeah.
Because we're a demographic of people that holds the unique perspective, and we exist.
This is true.
And people like us for some reason. And I'm famous, so this will probably get some views. We'll probably get a good 8 or 9 actual listeners to this podcast.
I want us to get to the point where you can't be a real ally if you don't listen to our podcast. I'll go.
True.
Yeah, gay people will go up to straight people and go, "Do you listen to Middle School GSA?" And if they say no, they'll say, "Well, you have to, otherwise you're homophobic."
Yeah, I mean that's what I say about Vosh personally. I think you're transphobic and racist if you don't listen to Vosh. But do you want to introduce yourself first, or should I introduce myself?
I'll introduce myself. I'm
the audacity. Go ahead.
Oh fuck! I'm Ferris. Gotta mute that.
Felonious Ferris.
I'm Felonious Ferris.
That's your real name. I'll cut it out. Don't worry.
And I'm non-binary. I'm kind of gray aro ace, but yeah, I really have really strong opinions about everything. Which is a red flag to most people, but I don't think I'm that toxic. Do you think I'm that toxic, Demigloom?
I don't think you're toxic at all, personally. I don't think you do anything wrong. I think you just engage in, like, a normal level of political discourse on the internet.
A normal level.
Yeah, the only difference is that you're a leftist and everybody hates leftists. So, it's more, like, I guess it's more predatory, I guess, when you have a more extreme position. So, you know what I mean? You're, like, you have more enemies to fight.
Everyone
but I don't think
hates
you do
leftists,
anything, like,
including
wrong.
leftists. Especially other leftists.
No, I fucking hate leftists. I hate other leftists. I'm the one smart leftist. Me and you, we're the two good ones.
Yes, I got kicked out of.
Everyone else is.
There's a Facebook group called, I think it's probably still exists. It's called Left Unity, where it's just supposed to be a place for tankies and anarchists to, like, try and be friends, and I got kicked out of it.
Wow. What for? What did you do?
I think that 90% of the group was tankies, and I wasn't really going along with the theme of, oh, we're gonna all try and get along. I was just picking fights with every tankie I saw.
So you infiltrated and started arguing in a place where you weren't supposed to argue.
Yeah.
That's not so much for left unity. They don't want me for going against the rules or the very premise of this group.
See, but that wasn't really what people, like, everyone was arguing. It was like infighting was the only thing that occurred there. I think that it was just very dominated by tankies, and I was being really annoying, which is something that's a skill of mine.
Yeah, it is.
I'm so
For
glad
sure.
we
For
agree.
sure. You're well versed in the art of annoying people.
Yeah, see, I realized at a certain point that it's useless for me to try and not be annoying. Like, it's just a natural part of who I am. So, at a certain point, I decided to really just amp it up because it would be funny.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you want us to describe our political leanings so we can isolate everybody who doesn't agree with everything we have to say?
Um, yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll go first. And I'll introduce myself after. I'm a leftist. I believe in social equality and ethical distribution of wealth and resources. And I don't believe in the free market, and I think people are too stupid to make their own decisions. But I also love people. People are like they're like babies. You know what I mean? Like you gotta create safety nets. You gotta put up the fucking gate to make sure that they don't go in the kitchen and drink mommy's alcohol. It's just how it works. People, I mean, people will consider me an authoritarian for that, but I am not an authoritarian. I just believe in creating safety nets so people can live desirable lives, and that's the responsibility of a government, is to provide its citizens with a desirable life, and while still keeping things going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what are you politically?
See, this might end up being a really boring political podcast because I am almost identical to you. I'm probably a little bit more, well, I don't know. The political compass test isn't really an accurate measurement, but
No,
um
the political compass. The political compass is like the best illustration we have of the political spectrum, but there's also no such thing as like a good illustration of the political spectrum.
yeah. But I'm very far to the left, and as far as libertarianism goes, pretty libertarian. Um, I feel like
You're a libertarian? What the hell?
libertarian, but like,
Ew.
how do we describe the opposite of authoritarian?
You just can't say libertarian.
I,
You just
you're
can't say
right.
it. The
You're
word is
right.
blacklisted. It's
You're
blacklisted
right.
in the left because if you say libertarian, you sound like a fucking Billy Bob who wants to keep a machine gun to protect his farm.
I see. I think that I get along with Billy Bob better than I get along with Tankies, even if Billy Bob is to the right.
Honestly, yeah, but like I don't think tankies are on the left as far as like social issues go.
Yeah,
Or maybe so tankies are definitely on the left as opposed to being on the right,
they're
but they are
fiscally
certainly
on the
not like
left.
progressive.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
the whole,
progressive, which is what
you know,
which
that
is what
thing
like
that
being on
people
the left
say.
implies.
Yeah, the thing that people say where it's like, I'm fiscally conservative but socially liberal. It's like the opposite with Tankies. They're socially
Yeah,
conservative, fiscally liberal. Well, liberal is still within the
but they'll never
context of
they'll never they'll
capitalism,
never
but
use the word. They will never use the word conservative to describe themselves though,
yeah,
because they're just like woke scolding like left purity
yeah.
losers who are just like, I don't know. It's all performative with most of those people. At least like, yeah, Zoomers in like America.
I remember the first time I encountered someone who, like, denies that the Tiananmen Square massacre occurred. And it was such a moment for me. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that people who I would otherwise be sympathetic to would be like this.
Yeah.
It's just like, it feels like you know how the psychology behind why people believe in conspiracy theories is like, people want to feel special. They want to feel like they're one of the chosen few who knows the truth about something. And it's the exact,
Yes.
that's what it is with tankies. It's this distrust of the American government combined with that. And then they just believe all of the propaganda from all of the other evil countries.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is like an obsession with like the aesthetic of anarchy and anti-Americanism, and the obsession with like being the most like pure like left thing you could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So they read like they download like a PDF of something Lenin wrote, and then like think they're all of a sudden like some kind of like political authority, and anybody who hasn't read the same Lenin.pdf that they did is just knows nothing about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Can I I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent. Fuck theory people. I hate them. I hate these people who like think that you have to like read like very specific literature to have an understanding of like the political landscape. It's so awful, and it's almost cult like.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like so many like go on.
I mostly agree with you. It's this kind of tankies. A lot of them do end up being like they went to college. They're highly educated people, but they end up having this disdain for the working class, for the people who don't have access to that kind of education or don't want to have that kind of education. Yeah. It's this kind of disrespect for blue collar workers when we should all be on the same side. We know that blue collar workers are the people who are being exploited the most. Well, until they don't allow themselves to be and unionize. But they're like one of the most vulnerable demographics that would benefit from socialism, but tankies like want to put up all of these barriers, and that kind of further reinforces my idea that they just want to be the chosen few because they like gatekeep. They don't actually want to help people. They don't want to include people. They don't want people to be sympathetic to them. They want to feel like they're one of the special people. So they alienate everyone that they perceive as dumber than them, which is most people.
They alienate and, you know, exclude everybody else, but also complain about people not being more like them. And they believe in Marxism, but also refuse to address and account for the people who are the biggest victims of the capitalist hierarchy that we live in.
Yeah.
And it's just bad. It's just I don't know what else to say. It's bad. I don't want to talk about tankies this whole episode. I don't want this to be the tanky
If
episode.
you're a tankie, get the fuck out of here. We hate you. No.
No, yeah. Fuck tankies.
No,
I genuinely
but like I want maybe I still want to I want to you know discourse and empathy, and I feel like one of those like I can change him people. Like I don't want to just like give up on this demographic entirely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to give up on any demographic. If there is like a neo-Nazi out there who is like, maybe Demigloom is the one good trans person. You know what I mean? Like that's objectively a good thing for like an awful person to like, you know, just like fathom that could possibly be wrong about something is a good thing. And that probably comes from me having a father who's a horrible person and just being like around just disgusting ideas my whole life, but still loving people regardless of that. But yeah, I mean, I run a debate club on Discord for a reason. Like I do believe in the value of debate and exchanging ideas between people who you would otherwise never want to talk to. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I do have like ethical boundaries when it comes to like who I'm going to be, I don't want to say friendly with, but like who I'm going to like tolerate politically.
Yeah.
Because lately I've been kind of on like a psychotically bipartisan like rush, I guess. Like what I've been obsessed with like talking to the most horrible people I possibly could and still trying to have like meaningful and like fun conversations with them, and like trying to enjoy the presence of people who are on a political level like completely disgusting.
Mhm.
and just trying my best to like look past that, because it's really done. I'm definitely a victim of like the left purity mindset. I definitely have found myself burning bridges and like getting obsessed with politics when my relationship with somebody else would have otherwise been perfectly fine.
Mhm.
But I don't know what my point was. I kind of want to introduce myself
Yeah.
if you're finished introducing yourself. Do you have anything else
Um.
to say about yourself? That
Uh.
no rush.
Uh. I I really like anime. um.
Yeah, and I don't like anime.
That's not true. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Demigloom, and believe it or not, I know it might be hard for you guys to process this, but I wasn't exactly assigned female at birth. Kind of a transgender. I'm kind of stronger than most women. I could probably beat you up if you're a woman.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a transgender woman. I got held back a year in high school. It's my second senior year. I'm a failure. I'm a failed musician. I tried to have a music career. I made one really good song and then never released anything ever again that got any attention. And I have this YouTube channel called Demi and the Goons, which was originally a group channel for like me and my friends to make let's plays and podcasts and such. It was home of the Brony Initiation podcast, the very first podcast that I ever hosted personally. And now it has nothing but fake Nintendo DS OSTs. I'm known for hits such as Breaking Bad OST, American Psycho OST, Raincoat Level Nintendo DS, What is a Woman Nintendo DS OST, Epic Rap Battles of History for the Nintendo DS OST, and Gummy Bears Revenge Nintendo DS OST. Truly riveting content, but I make money. So I make money for being Demi and the Goons. And it's pretty cool. I made like $60 off of shitty DS music. But other than that, other than what I do on the internet, I'm kind of a loser, honestly. Like people look up to me for some reason. I don't really do anything. I'm kind of just terminally online right now. And I also like old video games.
Every once in a while, I make a valiant attempt to get you to go out and enjoy something with me. And every once in a while, you
Yeah, and I'm
enjoy
usually
it.
busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it for a good 30% of the time, and then hallucinate the rest of the other percent of the time.
I swear I'm not
I'm
drugging
usually
you.
like, yeah, no. Felonious Ferris is not drugging me. How did we meet? How did Demigloom and Felonious Ferris come to be, and how did that eventually become a podcast?
Yeah, so we went to high school together, and can I tell the story of how I met you?
Yeah, sure, I don't care.
I was in a math class with you.
Oh God, that how you actually met me?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I was doing really well. I'm really good at geometry and terrible at all other kinds of math. The teacher got me to go over and help someone who was struggling, and that person was a young, naive Demigloom.
Pre-trans, pre-leftist Demigloom,
Uh-huh.
the seed that eventually grew into Demigloom.
I tried to explain it to you, but you wouldn't look up at me or say anything. Like every once in a while, you'd like mumble something under your breath that I couldn't hear, and then when I said, "What was that?" you wouldn't repeat
What?
it. Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, I don't think I was trying to say something to you and just like decided I wasn't gonna say it anymore because you didn't hear me. What happened was I do this thing where it sounds weird when I say I talk to myself. Like it sounds like I'm trying to like be edgy or like pretend that I have schizophrenia. But I do talk to myself. Like I kind of just like speak like under my breath,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably what was happening.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything that I said to you that time.
Well, I don't either because I couldn't
Though,
hear
although
any
I
of it.
definitely okay. Well, I also just didn't respond oftentimes when people spoke to me. At that point in my life, I had like the worst social anxiety I could possibly imagine. And essentially, like, when somebody said something to me, I would just like freeze and like try to like think as fast as I possibly could. It's because I'm just horrified of humiliating myself. So I kind of just like sit there, and from the other person's perspective, I kind of just like sit there and like stare at them until they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that really awkward like impression that I gave off at that point in my life.
Yeah, I was mostly, I wasn't judgmental or anything. I was mostly just confused and concerned for you. And then later on we connected through Instagram. And started talking, and it's probably been like 2 years, 2.5 years.
If I was that pathetic 2 years ago, I'm really ashamed of myself. But also proud of myself for having come so far.
Aww.
I don't see. I would look and I would look to see like what our earliest like DM history was, but the account that you would have DM'd me on back in the day is now banned from Instagram. So it's lost media.
I bet maybe I could. Well, I got all my DMs
No, you can't.
deleted.
It's not. Yeah, it was. What was it? It was my sophomore year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wouldn't know that. It was my sophomore year was 2019 through 2020. It was that school year. Holy shit, yeah, it was like less than 3 years ago at that point. Or no, about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years ago. Okay, I feel a little bit better about myself. That was about 3 years ago. And what did we even talk about at first? Because I'm trying to imagine like pre-trans me like having a discussion with you, and it's just not popping up in my head.
You were just really sad all the time, and I talked with you about it. You would like.
What were the conversations like?
Mostly you would say something on your Instagram story that like made me worry about you, and then I would come into your DMs and be like, "Do you want to talk about it?" And then we would. I I think one of our first interactions through Instagram was you said something on your Instagram story like, "I think I'm trans, but I'm never going to be able to come out." And I DM'd you and I was like, "Well, I'm trans, so I can talk to you about it. And if you like ever want to talk about it or need help or anything." And you were like, "I'm never going to come out. I'm never going to transition. This is where it all ends."
I don't think I said I was never going to come out. I think I just said like it was something that I was going to repress for the rest of my life because I wasn't like in a safe environment to do that. And I also and I still hold this belief to this day. I was really concerned about like passing and being a disgusting troon for the rest of my life. And I basically I just decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'll be a failed woman. I'd rather be a failed woman than a failed man.
See, you say these things, you're gonna alienate our demographic.
How?
You have this terrible
calling myself slurs?
By degrading yourself, you like accidentally, inadvertently degrade other trans women.
Well, here's the thing with myself, okay? I don't subject other people to these ridiculously high standards that are admittedly like unfair and just stupid, right? I don't think there should be a standard, but like for me, it's just this very weird obsession that I have with meeting other people's expectations and being perceived by other people how I want to be perceived. And when I insult myself, it's not that I actually think I'm pathetic. I don't want to like, sound like an asshole, but like I do think that I'm kind of smart and I'm kind of better than a lot of people, to put it bluntly. But I also acknowledge that will mostly go unaddressed, and I will, in the eyes of other, when I describe myself and it like when I call myself slurs and like call myself disgusting and whatnot, it's because I'm referring to how people perceive me, and essentially I'm saying that I care about that. What were we talking about before that? We're talking about how you and I became friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just post like, and I actually do have a clear memory of what I posted. It would just be very, very like long, like paragraphs. I've probably posted like 4 books worth of just like psychotic rants on my Instagram stories back in the day. It's been a long time, but from my memory, it was literally just like me ranting about how like cruel the world is and how the basically like life is rigged against me and winners and losers are decided at birth, and that I'm just like a victim of natural selection that'll slip between the cracks and never amount to anything. That was basically what I believed in back then, and illustrated in very cringy 9-paragraph essays at a time. And in all honesty, I don't know why I did that. um, I don't know if I wanted attention, because usually I would get a lot of attention. Basically, people like reaching out telling me to hospitalize myself, and I just didn't care. I just like didn't listen to anybody. Like it felt like like it's like in retrospect, it seems like something I would do for attention, but I also like rejected any attention that I got. But maybe rejecting attention was all part of the act. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why I did that. I just had the urge to do it, and I did it all the time.
Well, there's a lot of explanations that come into my mind. I mean, there were points in my life I do still occasionally flirt with suicidality, but there was a point in my life where I was really suicidal, like very like a danger to myself. And I
Yes.
know that a lot of the attention seeking, it was just like desperately trying to get people to see how much pain I was in. Like, just, I was just sitting there suffering and feeling like no one was taking it seriously.
Men feel invisible.
I didn't actually want anything to change. I just wanted people to see me and recognize me and know that I was suffering. And there's something about that that's kind of relieving in a way. That kind of it's comforting to be known.
I feel like it seems like it would be comforting, but like when it actually happens, there's like no actual like relief.
Yeah. I think it's also talking about going on psychotic rants. It's kind of, for me, that kind of thing was always just like, if I bottled it up any longer, I'd explode. So I just need to vent to someone or attention seek and do worrying things, just like kind of as a release, to kind of release that built up tension. Except I would still feel terrible and want to kill myself. But it would...
Did you feel like it was just a need?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, I think the difference between me and most people is that like I am painfully self-aware of everything that I do that's like cringe or like stupid, but I just do it anyway. At least in the past, like I would just do it anyway and like not care. I was just like full like clown mode. I just like I a lot of people in my situation think that they're like some like ultra victim, you know what I mean? Like they think that their life is like some kind of like villain backstory, and they think that like they're literally the Joker and everything they say is like some like badass like villain rant. Like, you know what I mean? But like to me, like I know like yeah, whatever. I'm some fucking loser on the internet who's sad and talks about it publicly, who posts every intrusive thought that they have on the internet publicly, and then somebody screenshots it and tells the school psychologist to check in on me. Not anymore. I don't now when people screenshot shit on my Instagram story and tell people, it's all sabotage, because like it's literally just me being funny. But there was definitely a point in my life where I just like was what?
I will say that when you had that picture up of you holding an AK-47 back like when we first started talking, I was a little worried.
Wait, that was up?
Yeah.
That was I guess for a while that photo was going up and down because of didn't want to get in trouble. But yeah, no, that was a pretty concerning image. I was I would put the image on the screen, but I'm like actually humiliated by it. Like it's so pathetic and cringe. I'm wearing a Death Row Records t-shirt with an Adidas tracksuit and a ski mask, and I'm holding my father's AK-47 provocatively while staring in the camera like a fucking madman. And that photo was like the first thing you would see when you clicked on my Instagram page for a very long time. And I was also posting unhinged psychotic rants. So I'm a lonely white male who just happens to really like Charles Darwin and guns. And not a great combination of things for as far as my public reputation goes.
But what a beautiful friendship blossomed out of my concern.
When did we like actually become friends? Because I feel like for a while you were just like somebody who was concerned about me and messaged me on Instagram. But at some point we became friends, and I don't know exactly when that was.
Probably like a year ago, year and a half.
Was it at school? Was it when we hung out for the first time?
No. I think it was
Was
when
it?
I added you to that group chat of trans people, and then we completely
Oh, that god awful group chat that I'm still a part of for some reason.
and then we completely uh overwhelmed it with pointless arguments. And that's
What did we
friendship.
even argue about in there? I remember like I have like almost vivid memories of arguing with you in that group chat, but like what did we even argue about? Was it
You'd
politics?
say some like random provocative shit and I'd respond. See, I'm kind of foggy on it too. Mostly like just pointless leftist infighting. Uh
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was stuff that you didn't really believe in, but you just wanted to argue with me about something.
I definitely became fond of arguing with you and just started like saying stupid shit. It was just I just some like I'm somebody who a lot of people have a difficult time telling when I'm serious or not, and it's not
Yes.
intentional, but I also admittedly I think I'm getting better with that. Like I've definitely like become aware that it was a problem and started to address it. But still I'm still definitely like the type of person who will say some like really unhinged shit in the same exact way that I say normal things. And being someone who's like I don't want to call myself an extremist, but like I do like have a lot of like unpopular opinions, and I guess just given like my personality, sometimes it makes sense when I say something crazy and unhinged. So people just believe it, even though I'm just being really funny.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. It took me so long to figure out, to be able to detect when you're joking and when you're not. It's already something that's like kind of difficult for me where I have difficulty picking up on sarcasm and jokes. So you like it took me so long. I think I've gotten the hang of it mostly. And I think now,
Yeah.
see, in that group chat, now I think that me laugh reacting at what you say is like an indicator to everyone else that you're not being serious.
Is it still a huge problem though? Because I feel like, first of all, I don't even like talk about politics in that group chat
Yeah,
usually. But second of all, I don't. I feel like it's still a problem.
a little bit. I feel like you are getting
Well, like
better at it, but it's difficult because it's been a gradual change and I've been talking to you through the whole thing. So it's hard to notice that change
yeah.
for me.
No, I definitely make an effort to not say unhinged things
Mhm.
that will mischaracterize me. I think a big part of the problem was I used to be really unhinged, not in the way that I am when I'm sarcastic, but like there was a point I've developed a reputation for being an insane person because there was a point where I was just like publicly vent all of my frustrations and every intrusive thought that I had, even if it wasn't reflective in any way of what I actually believed in. And I also was really stupid and engaged with a certain group of people on the internet that are objectively awful and trying to fix them, which we will talk about in another we have to talk about that in another
Yeah,
episode. There's
sure.
no way we can't talk about that. But yeah, I as far as like optically, I've made poor decisions in my past, and I think I'm one of the good ones now.
One
I
of
don't
the
think I'm
good
a
ones.
bad person anymore.
Yeah.
I'm one of the good. I'm one of the good people that are like edgy.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I also like my sense of humor has been like just marinating like in a cesspool of degeneracy and like me having hung out with so many like awful people. it's like I kind of, started to talk like them, even though I don't believe in anything that they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why are we talking about like my speech patterns and sense of humor? This is not an interesting discussion.
Well, it's an introduction. It's good. It's a good
Fair enough, I
disclaimer to
suppose.
have that every once in a while you will say something absolutely insane, and it'll be hard to tell if you're joking or not. Sometimes,
Yeah, and I probably won't be joking.
Yeah. I just got banned on Facebook again.
But like, I don't. Well, what did you do this time? Who did you tell to kill themselves?
I don't tell people to kill themselves. But it was, see, there's this thing in general in like with anime fans is they'll have a favorite character and just completely excuse all of the ridiculously evil things that they've done. So someone was like,
Yeah, because he's literally me.
someone was like, Ashalad from Vinland Saga is the goat. And I was just gonna be, I just started shit. I was like, well, he's a child murderer. And went back and forth with them until they were like, you're forcing your opinion on me. And I was like, I'm not forcing anything on you. I'm not gonna come to your house and kill you like Ashalad would. But Facebook interpreted that as a death threat.
Of course they did.
I think I didn't do anything wrong. Well,
Right.
if
But as far as child murder goes, though,
are you gonna argue with me about the ethics
from
of
a
child
utilitarian
murder?
perspective, would you kill baby Hitler? Would you kill baby Hitler? If that was the only way.
I don't like to ponder hypotheticals where I need to kill babies.
Well, I mean, you're a liberal. You want to kill as many babies as possible. I thought that was our goal here. I thought that was what we were trying to do. See, it's statements like that are really funny, that make damaging your reputation kind of worth it sometimes, at least to the short term.
Oh God.
How many people do you think we've alienated so far?
Well, we started off really strong with just talking shit about tankies for 10 minutes. And then if you don't cut out the part where I said, you're like things like that it feels like.
Gotta mark that down.
I feel like that will alienate everyone, except for your really mentally deranged fans.
I mean, let's be honest. If people have stuck around this long, they gotta know. I mean, I guess I do have new fans because the stupid memes that I make, and like the small fraction of them that like are leftists who care about politics and like are like, holy shit, Demigloom's one of us. The Breaking Bad person is one of us. Those people are probably a little bit shocked.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about how we became friends.
But
some point.
More like recently. Like we were talking about alienating our viewers. Oh yeah. So something that I like think about every once in a while is how once I get into a place where I can use my PC and I start doing content creation, if by some miracle I become successful, I will eventually be canceled for associating with you because you say the most unhinged shit. You say unhinged shit that you supposedly don't really believe in, but no one can tell.
Supposedly? Come on. I don't... It's not that bad anymore, okay? Like, I'm better now. You also have to remember, Felonious Ferris, A, I'm off of Twitter, which is the platform where I'm the most incentivized to piss people off.
Mm-hmm.
B, how I act privately and publicly is very different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that my friends can vouch for my character and know that I'm not completely insane when I make jokes like that. At least most of them can. And C, it's not that bad anymore. I've toned it down a lot.
Okay. But if
I don't think there's any like public record of me saying anything like morally deplorable from like from the last like 3 months at least.
It's a great track record you have. 3 months.
Yeah, I've gone 3 months without saying something
What
morally
is this,
deplorable.
Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yeah, it is. It's Edgelords Anonymous.
Yes.
But like genuinely speaking, I don't think I believe in anything that's like morally bad, like necessarily. And I don't think that you think that either. And if you do, you clearly think that I believe in things that I don't believe in.
Mm-hmm. I think that you're a good person.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Do you think that as far as politics go, I advocate for or believe in anything that's like morally deplorable?
No.
No. What about really bad?
Really bad? God, now...
Yes, like beyond just disagreeing with me, like, okay, that's like fucked up.
See, now that you ask me this, all of your political opinions have vanished from my brain. Do I even know you? No.
As far as what I actually believe in, like I basically just said it in like the intro of the video. Like basically like just like class reduction,
Yeah.
like ethical distribution of wealth and resources, and capitalism bad, pronouns good.
Yeah.
That's basically what I believe in. And I also think libertarians are really, really stupid, and the fact that libertarians are really, really stupid lives rent free in my head.
We alienated trans people because you said a thing that could be, well, not just could be, but you said something that's like deeply offensive and that I even find deeply offensive and morally wrong. That
Are you talking about my self-deprecating jokes?
Yeah, that made me you stress me out. Which will
no, I agree that I have bad messaging.
Trans people don't.
I 100%
don't leave.
need to work on my messaging.
Don't leave. I'm gonna debate Demigloom about whether all trans people should kill themselves next episode.
Okay, stop it. Stop it. No, people are gonna think you're being serious. I love trans people. I have nothing against that. Do I really have to argue that I don't hate trans people to you? Except like, okay, so there's one kind of trans person that really pisses me off. The trans women that are like
conservatrans,
that like pass really well, and the what?
Conservatrans?
Not even that, but like the trans women who like pass really well and are very fortunate and like basically are like accepted by cisgendered society because they pass well, and they're just like, your gut reaction is to perceive them as a woman because that's what your bigoted brain is telling you. Those people who like subject those standards onto other people who are like other trans like people who trans women who are like obsessed with like passing and are like super like hierarchical, are like, you're not real trans, or people who are like obsessed over like she theys and how like they're like just infiltrating the LGBT community. Or like, oh my god, you claim you're bisexual, but you would never date another girl. Like, just people like that. Those are the people that piss me off. Other than that, like, pretty much anyone else is fine, as long as you're a good person otherwise.
Yeah. Like the trans men who, as soon as they pass, become, like, conservative misogynists. Like...
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
I hate them so much. Every once in a while, I interact hate them, but like them, and it is just the most. It feels like I'm talking to a bot sometimes. It's like, are you a real person that goes around in the world?
I do want to have like one last quick discussion though.
Okay.
Why did we decide to make this podcast? Like when did our friendship lead or like reach the conclusion of let's start a podcast?
Probably it was a few months ago.
Yeah, it was many months. Do you want to talk about why it was a couple of months ago?
It was a couple of months ago because I kept procrastinating about making the cover art, and eventually Demigloom got a friend of hers to just make some in my stead. I have line art. I have it. It exists. I just need to work on it.
Finish it.
I know.
And also, my friend from school made the amazing cover art that you're looking at right now, and it's perfect. But I really, really, really want to use Felonious Ferris's cover art. So this is a temporary cover art. Yesterday, by the way, I commissioned this yesterday.
Oh, it's just so many steps. It's just too much for my executive dysfunction because I have to get out the computer and I have to plug in this stuff and I have to turn everything on and then I have to make sure everything's working and then I have to find the right file and then I have to actually do the thing and I have to get like music on that I like and then I can only do it for like an hour and it is just it's so bad. I just need to get an iPad like for drawing and use that because that is so much easier and I would be able to draw so much more. But yeah.
Yeah. Hurry the fuck up. You were like, it was, how long ago was it that you were like, I'll probably be able to get it to you in like a month?
I'm sorry.
Like 2 months ago now?
I'm sorry. I'm also...
I'm not actually mad.
I'm also a college student, so, and I work. So, I like to spend all of my downtime watching One Piece, just shutting my brain off and watching One Piece.
Yeah, that show doesn't take a lot of brain power to process.
Shut up. I'm right, they're like descending to Fishman Island if we have any One Piece viewers that know what I'm talking about. It's like 510 or something, that's an estimate. But yeah, that's what I've been doing for months, and nothing else.
Congratulations, man.
I love One Piece so much!
How do you want to wrap this up?
Please, if you've come this far, keep listening, because I think that we're gonna have some pretty cool conversations. There is, believe it or not, I have some controversial opinions too. So if you have you
have just as many. Okay. As far as your controversial and non-controversial, like, you know, when you put that on a scale, like, you are just as bad as me. You can't even say shit. You just like refrain. You just refrain from talking about like the shit that most people will disagree with you on.
This is true. I'm a horrible manipulator, and I put forward a presentable face to society and then secretly think terrible things. I don't think that any of the things are that terrible.
No, and I don't think I believe in anything terrible, and I think that you just like genuinely I think I said some fucked up shit at a time where you had a difficulty discerning whether or not I was joking.
I still can't tell.
Still can't tell. I think
in subsequent episodes we should also have a does Demigloom have autism debate.
Listen, every mental health professional and everyone in my life except you thinks that I don't have it. I think you might not know. Maybe you don't know what autism is because you seem to have a very like. You seem to disagree with like anyone who has any authority on the topic as to like who is and isn't autistic.
That isn't true.
You said it yourself. Okay, you said it yourself.
Let's we gotta wrap it up.
Okay. Felonious Ferris, where can our listeners find you? Could you make a YouTube channel, like just so I can like tell people to subscribe to it under the hope that one day you'll upload?
Okay, I'll do that. I guess.
Do that. Yeah, because I gotta link something in the description.
Yeah, and I have a Twitter. It's Felonious Ferris. I don't post anything on it because no one follows me, except for Demigloom's unhinged friends.
Yeah, don't you just like reply to like me and like Termite Joe on Twitter?
Shout out to Termite Joe.
Great times.
They send pictures of their cats to me, which I really appreciate. Yo, if you're still here, send me a picture of your cat on Twitter at Felonious Ferris.
Yeah, that's it. You're on Twitter, and that's all.
Yep.
The only place where Felonious Ferris is. You definitely don't have any accounts on any other websites. At all. It's not real.
Microsoft.
Also, you don't need to get your PC running to make video essays. I want you to know that. Write scripts. Record the scripts, and I'll fucking edit them for you. I'll make videos.
Okay.
Just do it. Just do it. You're the smartest human being I've ever met, and I don't like to, I don't like to say that, but it's true. And
I'm
you're just right. You're the most correct person I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with, and it is an injustice that you don't make video essays.
I think
You're the most qualified person.
I should make one dissing Jordan Peterson because that's so
Yes.
I'm so obsessed with dissing Jordan Peterson right now.
Yeah, this is the end of the podcast. This is the part where I say you could find me on YouTube. Subscribe to Demigloom on YouTube. And if you want to gaslight people into believing that there was a Whitest Kids You Know video game for the Nintendo DS that was canceled, go subscribe to Demi and the Goons, because that's what we do there. Follow me on YouTube. I post on my community tab. That's where I'm at. Do that and join my Discord server, which will be linked in the description. Anyways, I've been Demigloom, and I hate all of you. I hate anybody who disagrees with me mildly. Tankies, get out of here.
And
I'm
Felonious Ferris, and I love all of you, and I want all of you to stay and listen, even if Demigloom alienates you by saying something insane.
Yeah, listen for Felonious Ferris is gonna fix me, okay? That's what this podcast is. They're gonna fix me. Listen, if you don't like me, listen to Felonious Ferris fix me, okay? That's what's going on.
Okay. Bye-bye.